Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever place it is that you are joined onto the Live Signatures Radio. I'm so glad that people all over the world, I see very many countries on my timeline, people downloading and listening to these messages and sharing the messages, and I'm encouraging you to keep doing the same. I've seen spikes that tells me that there's an interest in the messages going out. Please share with as many people, if at all. I'm not just asking you so that I can get numbers. I want us to create a virtual incubator where people can be blessed by these messages. If it's making any sense to you, inspiring you, teaching you, opening your eyes, making you to think, it means other people in your circles could also benefit in the same way or even better. So share with them. Don't be afraid. We are in the series talking about potential, and the highlight is to talk about ways we can know we are not fulfilling our potential. We started talking about this 3 episodes back, and today let us look at one more way which you can tell that I am not really living my God-given potential. There are 8 more to go after today. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
In the series, we are talking about 10 ways you can tell that you're not fulfilling your potential. I've already explained what potential is, and I've said that every one of us has potential. You cannot show me and point at a human being and tell me, that guy, you see that guy in a blue jacket? He doesn't have potential. No, you cannot do that. It doesn't matter their color, skin, doesn't matter where they come from. It doesn't matter whether they're high-born or low-born. It doesn't matter whether they come from Africa or Australia. It doesn't matter as long as there's a human being. In fact, I can even extend it and say, as long as you're a living creature, actually even a non-living creature, you have potential. What is potential? It's unused force. It's a capacity that is untapped, undeployed. Something that can happen, but it's not happened yet. That's potential. Inside of us, there are capacities that we can be able to use. That's what potential is all about. Capacities that we are yet to put into use. In fact, capacities that we were created with for a particular reason, a particular function. If we are not putting those capacities to work, they are what we're calling potential. All of us have potential. There is no human being who doesn't have potential. All of us have been given the power to have potential. We all have it. So yesterday we said that the first thing you can know, the first yardstick you can be able to use to just know that you are not, or you may not be fulfilling your potential, is you are not living on purpose. Why? Purpose and potential are connected. Your potential is supposed to serve your purpose. So if you're not serving your purpose, then you're not digging in your potential. And we said and qualified it that, it's possible for you to go for 90 years, your whole lifetime, without necessarily following your purpose. People do that by their droves. They just get born and they follow through the processes of life, the status quo of life. And one of those things that I fight a lot is status quo. Status quo tells you that when you come here on the face of the earth, you behave like the world has behaved. Your previous people have done, your previous generations. Your grandfather did this, your father did this. You will do the same. So will be your kids and their kids after you. That is what status quo is all about. But purpose is different. Purpose doesn't speak into the status quo. Purpose speaks into your purpose. It speaks into your meaning. It speaks into your calling. It speaks into your difference, the things that you're supposed to do here. Now, for those things to happen, you need to have capacity. That capacity is your potential, the power to be able to act, the power to be able to fulfill the calling. Your calling is connected to your potential. Is connected to your capacity, your gifts and your talent. You cannot do it. So if you're not doing your purpose, you are not fulfilling your potential. Today, the second reason as to why you might not be fulfilling your potential, I want us to look at it. If you wanted to tell the world, if you wanted to know for sure that, for me, I am not fulfilling my God-given potential, you will test it like this. Number 2, you are only focused on survival. Now, don't get me wrong here. There is this element of surviving where you really learn and you really do what Bob Marley told us. He said that at times we don't know what power we have until it's the only thing left. We don't know how strong we are until it's the only thing left, the only option we have, but to be strong. Now, that's not survival necessarily, but the survival I'm talking about is just to averagely get by in life. As long as my bills are paid, as long as I owe nobody a thing, as long as I can't be caught, that's survival. But life is not supposed to be lived on survival mode. I'm not in any way bashing people about this. However, at times we live in such a way, a low life, an average life, that the highlight of our lives is when we have successfully paid all our bills and probably have some dime to spare and drink and eat and take someone out. And it's possible to do this all our lives. Unfortunately, that, in my estimation, is way below our privileges as human beings, especially as the crown of creation. There is dormant, unused power lying within us that can be activated when we aspire to live life that is overflowing. Instead of living life that is a survival of sorts, seek or focus or desire to live a life that is full of abundance, full of an overflow, where you're not living just for yourself. Survival, for the most part, is for yourself. Probably for mothers, it is for their kids. These are the most beautiful creatures on the face of the earth, mothers. Anyway, I'm going to digress. But survival, for the most part, is for an individual. It's selfish. But the overflow, the abundance, the focus on contribution, the focus on impact is normally for other people. So there is this dormant unused power lying within us that can be activated, and we can aspire to live a life that is full of abundance, a life that is full of an overflow, a life that is beyond the mere survival, beyond the mere of paying bills. This kind of life involves making an impact. It involves making a contribution, making a change, creating things in society that can benefit others. It's about others. It's about reaching out. It's about other people saying, I'm glad Lawrence was alive. He lived and he served his life. He's lived and he served his days. See, of course, we have to do a balancing act here. We have to pay bills. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. But we don't stop there. We don't aspire to only live in such a way that I don't have debts. Okay, the landlord some of us, our biggest aspiration is to have our own house so that we cannot be owing a landlord, rent at the end of the month. Our biggest aspiration is to get the kids out of our homes so that we are not paying school fees. And once we've done that, we recline. Those rocking chairs we have, we recline as if we are fulfilled, and we feel so proud of ourselves. But that is not it in life. Life is about us coming here to be catalysts, to make an impact, to make a difference. We have 24 hours a day to spend on two things. We are not exploiting our God-given potential, and we can be crowding things out in those 24 hours. We need to balance those two things: survival and overflow. And I'm aware that at times we can be so bogged down with bills and so bogged down with survival. In fact, sometimes half of our lives or quarter of our life is about surviving. But that doesn't tell us that in our psyches we just need to withdraw from life and just look at survival. No. I think we should be beating our hearts. Something should be beating in our hearts and telling us there's gotta be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than paying bills. And when you start living towards that dimension, what is happening is that your potential is being utilized. When we have to change our mindset, realize that answers we seek in life are outside of our potential. That's when we know we could actually be provided for. We could actually be provided for in the things that we seek in our form of survival. But at the same time, we could also look at life in abundance, look at life in overflow. The very answers we want could actually be provided for when we go out and start exploiting our potential. I do believe the answers we are looking for in life are not outside of us. Some of us, we think that our answers are in America or outside of our country. And I know, I realize this because I don't need to be absolute here. I realize that there are very many gray areas in life. You see, there are some people who are born in Africa, but they can thrive in America. And yet, there are some people who are born in America, but they are not thriving there. There are very many gray areas in life. But the point I am making here is that no matter where you are born, no matter what kind of life you live, most of the answers are not outside of where you are. In fact, most of the answers are not outside of you. They are within you, in your capacity. If we can push this capacity, this potential, and so that we're not just living to survive, just to barely make it, but we're living to be fruitful. We're living to contribute. We're living to impact these generations. That is now when we start pushing our potential, start utilizing our potential. But if you look at your life and you see that the only thing you're doing is surviving, I guarantee you, chances are that you are not giving this life what it deserves from you, what it's asking from you, and in so doing, you're not living a God-given potential. Tomorrow, we'll continue talking about these things, but until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.